What's up, Internet? I'm Dan Fletcher. Welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to learn how to make a web page. Code. So, this is going to be the beginning of a series where we learn how to make websites in an environment that represents how websites are actually built in the real world. We're going to learn how to code a website from the bottom up. And then once we have our website built, we're going to learn about domain names and servers and hosting, and we're actually going to follow through and launch a real website to the internet. Let's make a web page.
Alright, so seriously, this video is going to be pretty short because we're not going to actually do any code in this video. We're just going to show you guys how ridiculously easy it is to just make a web page. So if I'm on Windows, if you're not on Windows and you're on Mac or Linux, it's going to be basically the same thing. So if you're on Windows, you're going to open up Notepad. With Mac, I think it's called TextEdit, and Linux, just whatever plain text editor you have. The only thing you don't want it to be is a word editor, so no LibreOffice, no OpenOffice, no Word, no, whatever. Just a plain Jane text editor like Notepad, and we're gonna type hello web like that. And then we just save as. So I'm just gonna save this on I guess my desktop, right? And so the difference here, because we want this to be a web page, we're not going to save it as a .text. We're going to save it as .html. So I'll just call this hello.html. Click save, and you can see here on my desktop I have Google Chrome icon. The only reason it's Chrome is Chrome's just my default browser. But now I can double click this. It opens in my browser, and voila! It's that easy.
Okay, so that probably seemed pretty unimpressive. Maybe for some of you, at least was a little surprising. The thing is, whether you started learning through an online platform, or maybe you have no experience with HTML whatsoever, you probably assume that there's going to be a little more code involved. Maybe some special software that we have to install, or even perhaps a web server to configure and set up to get all of this working. And what you just saw here is we basically did nothing. We just called a plain text file .html, and automatically we can open it up in a web browser. I didn't even write any code. I just wrote words, and it worked. Now in the next video, we're going to learn specifically about HTML, and you'll understand why it is I was able to simply write words in a text file and actually have it render in a web browser. But first, I just want to note, although you can use Notepad or TextEdit or whatever your default text editor is with your Linux, really we normally write this code in an actual code editor.
You don't have to worry about using a code editor for now. In the next video, I'm going to be using an editor called Visual Studio Code. And then after that video, we will install an actual code editor like Visual Studio Code. I'll show you a few examples, and then you guys can actually follow along with some of the tutorials in this series, if not, hopefully all of them. Other than that, for the rest of the series, I have a rough idea of the direction that I want to go. Sort of this grand arcing scheme, but each individual video I'm hoping to base around some of my viewers' feedback. So if you guys have any questions or topics that specifically you want to see covered, leave them in the comments below, and then I'll make a video on that. Cheers!